Hello everyone, this is Bhuvan from Seletech Learnings. Today we are going to discuss how to validate a drop-down list using Selenium. We can handle the drop-downs in Selenium using select class. Like this class will provide us the implementation for handling the select tag in HTML, and also it will provide us some useful methods to select or deselect the options and to get the options. So now we will see this practically using a practice space. Here we can see a drop down with multiple options like select option 1, option 2, option 3. So now we will try to validate these options using the Selenium. Let's move to Eclipse. So here in the Eclipse, I'm having a package called Selenium. In that I have the method to validate the drop down. So in pom.xml, I have added the three dependencies like Selenium Java and WebDriver Manager and testng to add the assertion. So let's go to the class file. So inside the main method included 3 lines to open the Chrome browser to get the desired URL. Let's copy our practice page URL and keep it inside the get to open that page. So now let's try to inspect our element. So let me open the DevTools. Here I can able to see like it's having an unique ID called dropdown class example. So just copy that and control F and paste. We can see only one matching node, so we can make use of it. Now let's create a web element for the drop down. So web element drop down equal to driver dot find element by dot id. We have to paste the id that we have copied over there. So end the line. Now we have stored that drop down inside a variable called drop down. So this is the drop down we stored inside the drop down. To handle this, in Selenium we have a class called select, as we discussed earlier. So let's create an object for the select which is coming from the Selenium. So select sel, which is an object name, equal to new select, and we need to pass the, like for the select we need to pass the web element, which is nothing but here a drop down. So let's pass that. So we have a drop down now. Now what we have to do, we need to validate these options, right? So for that, let's first get all the options present inside that drop down using the object and get options method, which is present inside the select class. So select that get options will return all the options that are present inside that drop down. Let's take those, and this will return as a list of web elements. As you can see here, this will return a list of web elements. So let's store inside a list. So that list is coming from utils and the list is of web elements. So we have to give list of web elements and give any name. Let's say options, because these are the options. So options equal to object dot get options. Now we have the options stored inside the list called options. Now let's get all the expected values of the drop down. Let's take it as a array. Let's say string expected options array equal to the options, like what is the options that are given by the requirement here, that select option 1, option 2, these options. Okay, we need to provide inside a array. So let me paste it. I have already copied it. So these are the options we are expecting. Say in the UI, if same options are being displayed, the test case should pass, otherwise it should fail. So now let's design that logic. For that, let's use for loop starting from the 0th index to the end of the list. That is nothing but the options, like how many options are displaying. It should rotate those many times. So we are using from 0 to the option size and incrementing each value and getting one by one option. Okay, so after getting one by one option, what we need to do, we can use get to get one after the other, like one option after the other. Then we get the element, we need to get the text using dot get text method. So once we get the text, this is what the actual value that is being displayed in the UI. Now what is the expected value that we have inside this array? So let's take that array and take here also take the values one by one using the indexing CMI value. These are the expected values. So now we need to compare these things using the assertions. So assert is the clause present inside the testng. It will give us so many methods. The method we want is assert equals. So search for the assert equals, which is comparing the two strings, which is an actual and expected ones. Just give our values over there and remove it from the loop. So just copy that and paste. Same for the expected value, replace the null. So remove those above values. So here we are asserting for the each option at a time. Let's run and see. Now it should pass the test case. Like we should not see any errors. So open the page. Yeah, it should have been done. Yeah, see, nothing happened. So it has able to do the thing. Now let's say I have given any wrong value over here. Let's say I'm expecting a seletech as a second option or a third option. Let's try to run now. So in actual UA it is showing as an option 2, right? So now it should fail the test case. So it's still opening. Done. See, this is failed at assertion. See what happened? The expected value is seletech, but it found as a option 2. Now let's copy this option 2 and change the seletech back to option 2. Save the file. Now let's try to add a system.out.println to see the logs. So I'm not getting the suggestion. Let me add it manually. System.out.println, and inside that let's add our actual and expected values. So actual value separator, and add our expected value as well. This is just to see the values in the console. Save this and run as a Java application. It should open the browser and it should able to print all the actual and expected values in the console. Let's see. So it has printed all the actual and expected values in the console. Yeah, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching.